Hello designers, welcome to the channel. Today my name is Mawushi, the apprentice designer. So in today's tutorial we are learning how to sew 8-darted slits, alright, without cutting. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for giving me a chance. I appreciate that so much. So we start off by flipping to this side. As you can see, here is the sides, alright, so iron it neatly as you see me doing. Guys, whichever way that you can, ensure that everything aligns, okay? Try as much as possible to align your folds and your sides together as you see me doing, and try your possible best to iron it out neatly for what we are going to do next. So you fold the fold side, all right. Fold it like so. We are folding it to 7 inches like that, okay. Once that is done, you iron it. Now what we are trying to do with this 7 inches, that we are trying to create panels, 6 panels, all right. And so once you open it up like this, you see that the panel lines have been created, right? And so you mark them, you denote them any way that you can. Please guys, this is extremely important. You don't want your lines shifting, so ensure that you mark out the panel lines, all right? There will be 6 in total. Ensure that you find them all and you mark them out. So as you can see, we have 1 panel here, 1 here, and 1 there. 3 panels on this side, and you'll find that you have 3 panels on the other side too, okay. All right, what I like to do is I like to rule them out, because guys, it's so easy to mess them up and you don't want to do that. All right, so for me, what I do is I mark them with my chalk so that there will be no way no way possible to mess them up. All right, so do whatever works for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to repeat this process for all the 6 panels. You'll have something looking like this, all right guys. And you notice that the distance between each of the panels is 7 inches, all right. And the distance from the first panel to the fold, as in this side, will be equal to the 3rd panel to the other side, all right. Once you have it unequal, you realize that no, something has shifted, the panel has shifted, and you can make the corrections before we sew our darts, all right. So what you're going to do is you fold your fabric this way. We are going to work on each of the panels individually, all right. So we're going to work on this first panel. So you fold it like so, and you iron it neatly. Ensure that you are ironing it in such a way that you are ironing on the panel. Alright guys, so here is the waist line, alright. So you're going to mark from our waist to our hip. We often use 10 inches. 1 inch will be for the fold where the drawstrings will go into, alright. So 10 inches. Now, as you are already aware of, I'm working with a slit length of 38, and so I'll mark the hip to the knee at 9 inches, all right. That's what I've done. Waist to knee at 19 inches, all right. What remains is the knee to the ankle length, all right. And so we are going to use 1 1/4, or how should I put it, 1 2/4, I believe. You put that on the waistline, 1 2/4. Repeat that same thing on the hip, 1 2/4, all right. This is what is generally used unless the person has a bigger or a larger hip measurement. That way you can reduce it by 1/4 inch, all right, or 1/2 inches as appropriate, all right. So on the knee I marked 1.5 inches, all right, and on the ankle line you can just use 1/4 inch, all right, and then you hold it with your pins just as you see me doing. So I repeat, on the waist 1.25, on the hip 1.25, on the knee 1.5, and at the ankle length you can just use 1/4 inch, all right, and you hold it with your pins. Once that is done, you're going to iron it out to create a dart. So you're going to create darts on each of the panel lines, all right. And so once you have it pinned like this, you iron it out neatly. So guys, you might ask yourselves, why 8 darted slits or 8 darted skirts without cutting? And the answer is that in the olden days, our mothers and our grandmothers, they prefer to sew it this way. That way, when they get tired of the slits, they can just rip out the lining, and with that 2 yards of fabric, they can sew a dress or something else with it, all right. And so you have some customers coming in, they don't want the 8 darted skirts cut in pieces. No, they want it in a fold, and there you try to cut out their fabric, and there you having them catch you doing it. Hey, my goodness. So you learn the 8 pieces, and then you learn that for the uncut version too. And so as you can see, I have created my darts. There are 6 in total. So as you can see, we have our darts, all right. So you pick one dart out up, and then you stitch it, all right. You pick the other up, and then you stitch it, all right. It's better to start stitching from the bottom all the way up, all right. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. So here we are, guys. Stitched, stitched, stitched. All the darts have been stitched. So what you're going to do is we are going to align them, all right. Align this side to that side, align this side to that side. You can hold it with pins and ensure that it's properly aligned, just as you see me doing. Guys, ironing is very important, all right. So ensure that you iron your darts beautifully, just as you see me doing, okay. So you can open it up and iron this side, as in the right side, all right. You can do that, but I'm not going to do it in general, but you can do that. It's advisable to do that. So as you can see, everything is lying neatly, all right. So what you're going to do now is you're going to shape it out. So put the person's measurement, the hip measurements, divide that into 2. I'm working with a hip of 44. Divide that into 2 and you have 22. What remains, all right, what remains, I actually used 21.5 for the waist. What remains, you divide that into 2 and put it here. Now some people will prefer to use all the 44 for the waist, and then the 44 for the hip too. But I reduced it by 1 inch on the waist. Once that is done, you hold it with pins, all right? And so you're going to repeat the same process for the hip and then for the knee, each using its measurement, dividing that into 2 and then inputting it over there, all right? So on the hip too, you measure, do the same thing. So I don't know about your place of learning or your place of work, but where I learn, we don't often sew the 8 darted slits. People actually prefer 6 darts. I don't know if it's because, I don't know, they are not aware that there is an 8 darted slit they can also enjoy. But most people, actually to be frank, most people don't even know much about slits. Some people will come in and they're like, slits, no, 6 darts, no, anything. 8 darts, no, anything. They don't know, but once you show it to them, they are like, oh, yeah, oh, that's the name. Oh, not me anymore. Guys, on the ankle line, you hold it with 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, all right, and then you iron it out. What you're doing is we are shaping it up. We are creating the shape, all right. So this is it. You're going to stitch it all the way from the waist to the ankle, or all the way from the ankle to the waist, which is preferable, all right, so that any excess will be tucked into the folds for the drawstrings, all right. So you have it looking like this, guys. This is it. This is our slit. Now we are not done yet. We have to iron it up. So open up the shape that you'd sewn, all right, and then you iron it out. So this is us here, guys. I wish you could see the slit in its full length. It's looking really, really gorgeous. It's looking really, 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 really fine. So this is it. We put this aside and work on our strips for the drawstrings. All right. So cut your strips and ensure that it can wrap around your waist like 3 times. All right. And then you stitch it up. Fold it to this side, fold it to that side, and then fold it over, and then you stitch it. Once that is done, you're going to insert it or sew it into the waist of our slit. Start from this side, the sides. Usually it goes on the left hand side of the slit, all right, because that's usually where the part is. But there's no part here, but that is where the zip line would be. So you start stitching it from here all the way around, ensuring that you leave a gap, all right. So you secure it with a knot. You can just leave it as that, but you can also secure it with a knot to ensure that it doesn't pull into the fold, all right. So this is it, guys. You can see how neat it looks, and here is the gap I left, all right. And so, guys, you've come to the end of the tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like this video, share and subscribe. I also want to say that the previous tutorial showed us how to line with full yards of lining. And so be sure to check it out if you don't know how to do that. And thank you. See you next time. Bye.